I have a question about your program, because I had the chance to look as well, and I think it's absolutely fascinating. What can you, and Spirit Lifters, hope you can check it out, like in the description below, as we've been saying. Kathleen, can you please, do you have a particular example of sort of case study or successful entrepreneur that went through your program and how their situation was maybe before and after that? Just give our Spirit Lifters an insight.
Yeah. I think it's such an interesting time because a success story before COVID and a success story now, even that looks very different, right?
Yeah.
And I think the big thing now is there's been a few people that I've worked with, and one of the things they've had to look at differently is the time that we've had in, we'll call it isolation, social distancing. I'm not sure how it's termed in all the different countries and things, but making people really slow down and regroup and reevaluate it. I have lots of people come to me and say, I don't think this is all what I should be doing or what I want to do, or this is what I really liked, but I'm in the wrong direction. And I think that's been one of the gifts of COVID. And I know people are like, a gift from COVID? I don't think so, but they're really heavy, right?
Yeah, I if people understand what you're insinuating, that's what's important. So no, I get what you're saying.
And I had one particular lady, and she's a mobile esthetician, and she is committed to helping people all over the place. And she does a lot of senior care. She does a lot of senior foot care, health care, helps them look after certain needs they have, especially diabetic people with their hands and feet. And she herself is a diabetic person. And this has taught her to really slow down, regroup, and how much money does she really need to live on, and what really are her priorities, and how is she going to regroup them on. And having these here in Nova Scotia, Canada, we had a 3-month of pretty much total isolation where they shut down all businesses, like unless it was an essential services, it was shut down. So lots of people spent the first couple of weeks in almost panic mode because they didn't know what was going to happen next. And it's like all the stages of grieving that people will go through when they suffer something like this, and they get to a place of acceptance in the end through a lot of work. It doesn't just sort of happen. It can happen organically, but for some people you need a little bit of a sounding board to talk it through with. And she really realized that her priority was letting go of some of the people that did not serve her in her life, or there wasn't a reciprocal exchange of energy, even not even about the money. She always says she'd do people for free as long as they were grateful. And that says to me that she really loves her job. But she learned to manage her time better. She learned better self-care. She definitely learned some better eating strategies, because when she slowed down, she was home, she had time to eat better and pay attention to what was going in her body and how she was feeling. And she too is type 1 diabetic. She lost weight. She got things under control. So the success of being able to stop and focus on the whole picture, the nutrition side of it, the connection and sometimes disconnection side of it's very important. Your creative side, she had more time to do some other things. And I want to say this about the creative side. People tell me all the time, I'm not creative. That doesn't apply to me. Right. Everybody's creative. Everybody.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
And
yeah, programmers are creative.
Yeah, and I think we're going to need it more than ever, especially as, technology takes more and more of our life, in the years to come. So like creativity and just tapping into that part of us that really wants to express in any way that we naturally feel is really important, and not feel so much that we're stuck in a rat race all the time. I think that's why things and the way we want to be do not reveal themselves, is just because we're always in this motion of never getting out of the situation we're actually stuck in. So creativity is fundamental, and And that's a really interesting example that you gave, and I thank you so much for sharing that, Kathleen. You know, and
I teach on a side note, for people who say I'm not creative and I don't have a creative bone in my body, I actually do an art class that I've done with people in hospice care, end of life people. I've had the privilege of working with so many great people, and it's just a form of abstract art where you do a short meditation and you put paint down on a page. There's a little bit of a process. Any kids can do it, like anybody can do it. And some of the beautiful things that come out of it and people create, and it is a reprieve. It's a step away from the rat race that regenerates the mind and helps people just take a deep breath and see something different on a page and think, oh, that is kind of pretty. I did create that. That's awesome. And I mean, it doesn't sound like it has anything to do with being an entrepreneur, but there's so many sides to us as humans. You have to bring all of them into what you're doing if you want to be a soul-centered entrepreneur who does everything they do with passion.
100%.